by Centas. For the Terrapins, you'll see the three freshman guard Anthony Cowan, Kevin Herter, and Justin Jackson, along with the veterans Trimble and Dodd. For Iowa, only Jock is a veteran player. The others are all in their first year of competition. Maryland back in the top 25. Mark Turgeon, their head coach. Turgeon in his 6th year at Maryland. He has 380 career wins over his 19-year career, which oddly enough, the exact same number that his counterpart tonight, Fran McCaffrey, has, as McCaffrey is in his 7th year in Iowa. Terrapins control the opening tip.
Well, you know, two pretty good coaches, obviously, to start off. Really important games. We talked about this before we went on air. Really important game for both teams. Maryland's in a good spot, probably a little ahead of schedule. But this team, Minnesota, is beat at Purdue. That tells you something right off the bat, and they do play well at home. I think the next portion of their schedule is critical for them. I saw the end of the schedule. It's very critical for them.
It is. The end of the schedule for them certainly gets a great deal tougher. Now, this could be a key tonight. You see Cowan driving to the paint. One, Iowa doesn't defend the paint very well. And secondly, Iowa historically hasn't allowed their opponents to shoot free throws, and Maryland lives on the free throw line. A couple of guys who've been very adept at it. As you have a look at Fran McCaffrey, Cowan shot 103 free throws, making 74% of them, but right on cue he misses the first.
Yeah, they do that to you.
Yeah.
Players, I mean. No, but you look at it and you start thinking, these two guards get to the foul line over 100 times. They're at 8 or 9 foul shots, 2-point guards, amazing, and that puts a lot of pressure on you. Let's see, as we go down the line a little bit, Reese, let's see how Iowa plays the pick and roll. They're going to need the secondary help from the pick and roll. You can't play these guards naked.
Turnover on the inside as Tyler Cook tried to get it to Cordell Pemsel.
It's a good pass and good catch.
Dodd, DeMonte Dodd with the first field goal of the night.
I'm a Dodd fan. Blocks 2.5, gets 8 points. Tell you what he does. 100 small things. 100 small things. And those kind of guys help you win. He's a kind of a glue guy.
He's also playing with a bit of a knee injury and torn meniscus. Another turnover for the Hawkeyes. Justin Jackson goes into the front court. I asked DeMonte before the game. He said, getting better with the knee, so he's toughing it out. Maryland's had some injury issues already, despite the fact that they've gotten off to this great 16-2 start. There's Dodd inside again. He's fouled by Pemsel.
Here's a terrific play to show you what you should do. When you have two great point guards, run. You know why? Something good's going to be at the end. It's not going to be an ice cream sundae. It's going to be a basket and a couple foul shots. But it's amazing. Kids don't run the floor as much direct because they want to shoot threes. That's a great idea. It's a great idea, honestly, to have them run the floor. And I've had kids, Jake Bosco, big, strong center, played 10 years in the league. I mean, his career was rebounding, setting screens, and running the floor, and he was terrific at it.
We just saw Ryan Kriener check in just over 90 seconds into the game. He's a freshman for Iowa who really been struggling to get some playing time, and McCaffrey said that he's too good not to play in his last couple of performances. One in the big victory here against Purdue, and then Sunday in the debacle 35-point loss. He was one of the few bright spots, perhaps the only bright spot, hitting 6 of 7 from the floor, and Iowa's having a little trouble taking care of the basketball. And Melo Trimble, who'd been struggling from three, knocks one down, and Maryland jumps out to an 8-0 lead. And less than 2 minutes into the game, Fran's going to have to take the timeout.
And Fran turns to the staff saying, I got a question. What did it say on the scouting report? You can't make threes? Oh, really?
Into the Iowa lineup, number 51, Nicholas Ware.
Typically, when you have more turnovers than minutes played, that's bad. I think that was perhaps the message that McCaffrey was sending to his team.
Well, in the wrong team he's sent to. His team normally takes very good care of the ball. And the team that turns the ball over most of the league, Maryland. You can't make their weakness to be your weakness. You've got to get more shot possessions.
It's Isaiah Moss, the redshirt freshman now. Tyler Cook, who missed some time early this season with a fractured finger. Shot's no good. Nicholas Bears into the game.
That's my guy. That's the junkyard dog. He just keeps going and going and going. He's a, you know, the energizer. He plays. That's another. That's just a bad shot, though. And I'd be upset if the official bailed him out.
Mello Trimble helped give Iowa a favor, turning it back over. The Hawkeyes will get it back. Now here's the Big Ten toughest conference strength of schedule up to this point in the season. And you see Maryland's strength of schedule is the easiest up to this point in Big Ten play. But look, that's part of being a good team, is it not? Beating the teams you're supposed to when you get the opportunity?
The one thing I try to pride myself on and my teams on, we only lost to teams that were better than us. And that isn't always true. But if you can beat everybody that you feel you can beat, and you have good teams, you're going to be very successful. You can't lose games you can't lose. I know it sounds funny, but it's really true.
Well, the schedule, hey, look, schedule was a little bit luck of the draw, Jim. And Maryland this year has Michigan State, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Purdue. And with a 14-team league, they only play those teams once, and 3 of them they get at home. But, you know, they've already beaten Indiana at home. So the lone road trip is to Wisconsin. Kriener with his first shot, and can't get it to go, and Jackson's out of there with the rebound. This is a good-looking young player, Jackson, as he continues to develop
talented. Yeah, 100%
develop
right.
confidence.
And he can do this too. That was I thought that was in. It was a really good stroke.
And fighting for the rebound, Bohannon and Dodd.
They are so out of sync offensively right now, Iowa, because that could have been a 3. They got him in rhythm and in motion.
Herder tosses it into the back court.
I mean, you don't see your best player in there, sometimes you get nervous.
Ducked out of the game and got an illegal screen called as Herder's looking for it, and foul is called on Jackson. Checking into the game for Maryland now is L.G. Gill, graduate transfer from Duquesne.
Didn't he play tight end last year? Duquesne doesn't have boys he put together, huh?
Yeah, he is. You know, he's really changed his game, Jim. Hoisted a lot of threes at Duquesne last year. He's only taken 3 and made 1 so far. And Bohannon finally gets Iowa started. He is a terrific shooter as well.
And he's getting better as a point. He's got to give up size. Not a particularly strong kid. He's not the quickest kid in the country, but he's very crafty. He knows what he's going to do. He's only going to get better. And the idea that a point guard can shoot, good pass.
And more points in the paint is...
You saw that stuff so easy.
Yeah.
It wasn't out of his hands. We're saying, good pass.
Yeah.
You know, the pick and roll, they've got to play that better.
That was one of the keys that they were working in practice, and point of emphasis today is the foul on the floor as Moss tried to go to the basket. We take a look at that pick and roll again.
Well, they're forcing him until they get help to the pick and roll. When this time, the bottom man doesn't jump. You gotta jump down and make sure you take that screen.
Top 10 3. Always important to get off to a good start.
It is. But out of those 6 shots, I had 1 good shot. You know what I'm saying? You've got to get good shots. Maryland can defend, but they're not a lock-up defensive team. You've got to work harder. You've got to make the defense move a little better.
There's Moss.
Well, that time, when a curl comes down, they get movement. And movement creates good shots and rhythm.
Moss needed that. He's only had 2 points in each of his last 2 games. He's a guy that McCaffrey calls a shot maker, now throwing a little zone.
Yeah,
Maryland now.
Maybe not a bad move to stop some of the penetration.
That's one of the things that at times this year, I mean, you think of all of these shooters, that you just do that over the top of the zone, as Mello Trimble does. But Maryland at times this year, zone's been effective against them as Iowa beats Maryland down the floor and drawing the foul inside. Dodd is Ahmad Wagner.
We used to have a whole theory, like a lot of coaches do, too many nights. Too many theories. But the key ingredient, how many easy baskets can you get at the foul line, offensive rebounds, and beat them up the floor? Turnovers to we always say turnover, loose ball rebound is a turnover to touchdown. And right now, no easy basket. That was one because he got closed out making foul shots. Easy baskets, they need them.
I think easy baskets are not going to be in plentiful supply for Kentucky when they take on South Carolina Saturday night, part of our doubleheader. Gamecocks #1 in defensive efficiency. By some measures, that'll be followed by Miami and Duke, 8:15 Eastern Time. Duke is where College Game Day will be for our season debut. Cameron Indoor, all of the struggles that have befallen the Blue Devils of late as Maryland takes care of the pressure. Mello feeling it. Well, heat check, can't get it to go.
That was deep.
Yeah.
That was deep.
Greener.
When you make 2 in a row, it's okay.
Moss trying it again. Offensive rebound for Iowa. Back out to Bohannon stepping in. Off the offensive rebound, step in 3, and all of a sudden Iowa's shaking off that sluggish start, and they're back within 3.
And we like that stroke. He has a beautiful stroke, and as I said, as he gets stronger, he's only going to get better because he'll be able to start setting up a drive off this. Nice lift fake, good legs, elevation into a jump shot, and by the way, shot with confidence.
Well,
the body language, you can see it.
He's a terrific three-point shooter, shooting about 37%, nearly that for the season. He hit 7 triples in the game against Notre Dame earlier this year, so he's prone to making them in volume. Maryland has several guys that can knock it home too, including Jalen Brantley, who's checked in, and on the scoring column, Peter Jock has returned for the Hawkeyes.
Well, Brantley has been playing great. He's been kind of their 6-man story all year. He's the guy coming off the bench that's made a difference.
Bear for 3.
Well, we said we'll see some baskets, right?
Yeah.
And we're starting to.
The way both of these teams like to play. I was sticking with that zone.
It's helped. At least right now it's helped. They've made a couple of deep threes, and if they can get a 3-point shooting contest, they think they can win that.
Von Bender, big number 13, working right in that foul line area.
He is big.
Kicks to the corner. Herder bought a little space and hits it right in front of his old buddy Fran McCaffrey. The Herders have known the McCaffreys for years and years, and Peter Jock has the quick answer.
Now he's leaving and not putting anything in his head. That's an NBA run-ahead 3-point shot. Boy, I love his stroke. He does shoot so easy.
He is one of the, over the course of his career, Jim, one of the most improved players in the country as Bender gets loose for the easy bucket.
Well, they're isolating on the weak side, so the roll man is not being picked up by the third or the secondary defender, but the short third side, they're going to have to solve that. That lane is well too open. They've got to do something with it.
Jock got away from Herder.
Right on the rim, too.
Hard.
Yeah, a little hard, exactly.
Now Trimble will take his time. Brantley, who hit a 3 earlier, wanted it. Trimble with a good look inside, and the whistle blows. The ball goes out of bounds. We have a foul called.
I think I said earlier, Iowa didn't have a rim protector. Right now they need a paint protector, never mind the rim, because there's too much action that happening in the middle of the court.
Jock was called for that foul. It's his first.
You know, when you have a guy like him, that first one seems like 3. You just be very careful.
Here's Brantley. Wagner got out there to discourage him from shooting it. Bohannon jumps in and knocks it out of bounds,
So
knocks it away from Gill.
They really like Brantley's attitude with its good young freshman commander to go Trimble. He sold into that third guy and has played wonderfully for him.
Rally against Illinois, he scored 10 straight points.
He started with his attitude, and then, as I always said, then led to his altitude.
Yeah.
Things started getting much better.
Jalen's going to chase it down right in front of us. Shot clock at 10.
Let's see if we get the rotation. Otherwise,
Catch
pass.
quick. Cowan up, and he'll go back to the free throw line.
It's created by the first step by, and then the second step to avoid, and then he gets the foul.
Wagner whistle for the foul. It's his first. Now Cowan, freshman from Bowie, Maryland, sort of destined, one might say, to become a Terp. His dad got a master's degree from the University of Maryland. His grandmother is a professor in the African American Studies Department at Maryland. It's 1 out of 2. 22-16. Terps tied with Wisconsin for the Big Ten lead. Reese Davis and Jim Calhoun here in Iowa City. They had promoted this as a gold out night. Wanted everybody to wear gold to the game. You see a pretty good portion of that in the seats. We still are filling up as Jock can't get it to go, and there's a foul called on the floor.
As smooth as that was, he had just a little bit of fallback. You know, you're shooting from 24 feet, fallback, and that's what he got. He got a little harder at the end. He's got to make sure he extends a little more into that. Now, I'm not telling Peter Jock how to shoot. He's got that down pretty good. But, you know, it is true. You have to go up straight, and if anything, go towards the rim. Fall away from that distance stuff.
Last foul was called on Maryland's Jared Nickens. Nickens
good screen.
Now with 4. And Jock turned it over. Cowan one-on-one against Bear. Stepped past him and rolled it in.
That used to be a travel.
Now it's a Euro step, right?
Yeah, and I added Asia because I think when they take the 4th step, you're almost to Asia, not to Europe.
That wasn't like the Kansas travel the other night.
I have never seen like that.
Did you see Russell Westbrook last night?
Yeah,
he
I did.
Walking up the floor, tucked the ball like he had a brain cramp. We'll have one big thing coming up about Cowan, who is lightning quick. He's really helped Melo Trimble, has he not?
He's helped the whole team. He's taken over some of the leadership when Melo's been on the bench. You know, and Jackson's got a terrific future, and they've got other kids. This is Herters I love. I'm just telling you that if you look through the Big Ten, a lot of good freshmen. If you look at the Terrapin, future's bright. Future's bright.
And you're looking at guys, too, that aren't very talented guys, but likely not the one-and-done type freshmen, so Turgeon's going to be able to build with these guys. Another 3 from the corner. Brantley couldn't get that one to go, and Bears coming the other way. It's a trailer Jock. Peter couldn't get the shot off. Now Tyler
nice pass.
Has a great look for Cordell Pemsel on the subject of freshmen. That's freshman to freshman.
2 really good freshmen here. I mean, these are 7 freshmen started tonight. Not having a lot of other, Power 5 conferences.
You know, and back to the conversation, Jim, that we were having is Jared Nickens, also another terrific shooter off the Maryland bench. Been a little bit up and down with his shot. Maryland pushes the lead back to 9. Just like Maryland's freshmen, Iowa's guys, and traditionally that's been the case here at Iowa, the guys are going to stick around, but they've shown maturity and ability beyond their years already.
It's amazing to me.
Even for a so-so record that they've had.
Yeah, it's amazing to me how mature some of these young kids are. They're not quite as mature as they think they are because most of them, in my opinion, aren't ready. I mean, our sport of basketball, of course, we love. You can tell much earlier than most sports, but some of these kids that give themselves a year or 2, they can find some good things. Heard of the young wing from Maryland, by his junior year, he's got skills. He's got great IQ in basketball. As his body fills in, the game fills in, just an example of a kid who would have a chance down the line.
But Turgeon telling me yesterday that, wow, Herter's always been really tough mentally, turnover. Christian Williams has it, and then he has his pocket picked by Cowan, and here comes Jackson the other way. That Herter's always been tough mentally, but where he's really improved over the course of his first season in college is some of that physical toughness, and more of that's going to come as he continues to get stronger and develop. And the frame, he can probably add 15, 20 pounds.
And early, if he can take it, he'll later give it next 2 years.
Yeah.
But it's really true. A lot of things that happens to young players, they can't take it. And it throws their game off. It hasn't thrown his game off at all.
And how about the development that he's had now, oftentimes, guarding the opponent's best player? He started the game tonight guarding Peter Jock.
And I think it gives a better indication because, fans have something to say, analysts have things to say, but the coach who coaches him every day, he's going to put him on the best player in the other team. That tells you all you need to know about him.
Dodd kicked it out to Cowan for the bucket, but he might have had an easier one. But
I love the
Maryland's
play,
still passing it beautiful.
He cut him off with his body. That was wonderful.
Goes all the way to the top. Cook has it knocked away.
How many turnovers we have at Iowa?
Iowa's now up to 7 turnovers.
I think both teams are getting turnovers.
Now they got 2-on-1. Ellingson threw it over the top. Jock had to follow. And he's going to be fouled inside.
I'll give you a hint. I know why Ellington missed. His head was here. You got to look at the rim, forget the contact, finish up, head up, ball up.
What's the coaching point? I think I've heard Billis say it a few times this year. You make layups with your eyes.
Of course you do, because you lose. when you start to get hit, you kind of lose where you are. Well, if you're looking at the square, pretty good indication. Let's watch it. Here he comes. Head down, just caught it late. Caught it late. He wasn't looking up, he was looking straight ahead.
And into the game now is Dale Jones, who's a senior from Waterloo, Iowa. He played 2 minutes earlier this year against Seton Hall, fractured his wrist. He had a history of knee injuries too. Cleared to play in this game, so McCaffrey getting him on the floor, and that could give them a little veteran leadership as Herder avoids near disaster and trap. And you know, that's the thing. We talk about Cowan and Trimble. Herder's not bad creating either.
No, he's not at all.
Dodd kicks it out. Trimble for three.
Tell you, shot looks good. It really does.
Maybe unlike last year when we saw them, he was dealing with some hamstring issues.
And he did not believe in the jump shot. He shot it because he's supposed to shoot. He didn't shoot because he's going to make it. He's a terrific player. The other thing you start realizing, and I thought of this last year and I saw him practice this year, I mean, he's a man already. He's ready to go. Terrific body. He's going to be a user.
Dodd coming out to set the ball screen.
Yeah, that was
little friendly shoulder shiver to Jock too, right?
But you know, that was a much better way to handle it. You know, they sent the ball to the screens, the helper would be there. You can't let these good guards isolate.
Jones at the rebound. Jones firing one up a little bit long. Rebound chased down by Herder.
I'd say easy, don't listen. You're playing now. Next step, we'll take a shot. But right now, he's on a search and find mission. That's what Fran. He's going to find the right combination to get things going. He's only down 9. More.
Now 11.
The back cut, and once again.
Well, Maryland's passing the ball beautifully.
You know,
tonight.
it's funny you should say that because I thought coming in with having more turnovers and assists, maybe not as much, but.
And Trimble chased down the ball and then was fouled by Kriener. An 11-point lead for the Terrapins. That's a pretty good look from Jackson, freshman to freshman, huh?
Well done.
All right, Chris, Kara Fons, thank you very much. To Kara's point, not only Maryland shoot them out of the zone, the passing that we were talking about, they've made 11 field goals tonight, and they have assists on 10 of them. 4 different guys have hit threes. Their offense can look pretty efficient.
Yeah, is it really good offense? Well, huh? Or is it not such good defense? Yeah. I'd say Summer's not such good defense. Stay in that zone to try to keep them out of the middle.
A little bit of a different look in the zone, though.
That time they went 3-2.
Yeah. Shot clock is inside 5. Dodd's got to get it up. And left it a little short. Here
was the right pass.
Here's the screen and the roll to Kriener. Kriener has it knocked away and taken away. Another turnover for Iowa, and then a foul in the backcourt as Kriener is whistled again. And the youngster who has played so well has had some struggles in the early going tonight.
Not so sure. It went both ways. We had 2 fouls.
Yeah.
One called, not called.
And so you thought Dodd got him taking it away from him. Kriener goes to the bench with 2 fouls.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jones, Baer, Jock, Bohannon, and Ellingson as Baer gets the steal. And
that's a freshman pass. Put the ball down in a 15-foot area. Plenty of area to steal the ball.
Jones from the corner.
By the way, that's part of their offense, Iowa. Anytime they get an open shot from top or the corners, they're going to take it on a fast break.
And so will he.
Yeah, he can soak it. I don't know, it's a kind of long-range missile, but it was a nice stroke. He's tough enough.
Bohannon kicks it out. Baer for 3. It rolls out. Gill cleans it away for the Terps.
They've got to get easier baskets, as we were saying before. They've got to get some penetration, get to the foul line. They can't just live and die on the 3-point shot.
Right in the middle of that zone to Dodd and a cutting Trimble.
Yeah, you cannot allow that ball to get to the high post or allow him to be naked there, but that'll be no one playing him. he's going to be able to make a pass. The hardest ball to defend
Glad that's all you
is
meant.
at the foul line. Well, we don't want to talk about naked before 14,000 people. It's not. It's that kind of game.
Bohannon into the paint, takes care of the ball.
Okay, yep.
And Maryland's recovering pretty well, but Herter is called for the foul. That's his second now.
At the high post. Yep, right here. Yep.
Bradley and Bender in for Maryland. Moss and Cook into the hot
Dodd with a terrific pass. Iowa has missed its last 8 shots. They haven't made a field goal since the 11:21 mark, and now we're just over 5.5 minutes to play here in the first half.
I was going to have to be careful. This is a good basketball team.
Brantley is checked back into the game. Bender's in there as well, along with Gill.
I want this guy shooting, or at least handling.
Jock looking for Cook, and
by the way, that's
got
another
a finger on it. Shot clock's at 11. It'll stay on this end.
And it's another reason why that he has the ball in his hand. He's going to draw people. If that hadn't deflected, to get a wide open guy for a 3 in the corner. I want the ball in Jock's hands, so he'll bring 2.
He's got it. Now Moss back into the game.
Yep.
Shot clock at 5. Bohannon creates something, shoots it over Brantley. It won't go, and Bender with a rebound. Callum is running ahead of the field. Mello decided not to chance it. Brantley, Bender, that's a terrific pass. Bender couldn't finish. Back up he goes, and this time he does. A little Moses Malone.
He's got to call timeout.
Get your own rebound and put it home, and the lead has swelled to 15, Maryland's biggest of the night.
We talked about Fran occasionally getting upset, as we all do as coaches, but I'll tell you what, that was just a bad exhibition down both ends of the floor.
Frustrating thing, they were coming off that terrific win against Purdue, and then to lose by 35 to Northwestern. It's a really good team this year, by the way. And then to have this happen at least in the first 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah, and you're playing at home, and what you've done is you've relaxed the Maryland team. Look at, and you're right, look at the assist here, because there's nobody protecting the rim. They allowed the ball to get to the high post and allowed the man to swung, look inside. So when Maryland's looking inside, no one's playing, no one's ball pressure him, any cutter he's going to see. There's got to be more ball pressure. They've got to tighten it up, and part of the other problem, they aren't scoring.
It always covers up a multitude of blemishes. Iowa worst in the Big Ten in points allowed in the paint.
They're showing right now.
That they are. A 15-point lead.
Now here's what you want, okay?
Field goal droughts reached 6.5 minutes. Cook fumbles it. Bohannon, a long 3. Shot it long. Bender cleared away Cook and got away with it. He did a good job.
He bent Cook.
Yeah.
He bent Cook.
Nickens. And get it to go. Now, here comes Iowa. Moss driving. Through contact, no call. And now Cook is fouled on the inside by Bender.
You know what? But that's what they have to do. They're going to have to try to get some contact, go to the rim. They didn't get the first call. They got the second. But if they're going to keep just putting jump shots up there, they're not getting second shots. They're going to make sure that they initiate contact.
It was a 2-shot foul, but now Iowa's also in the bonus. You see, Iowa started cold, missed 4 of its first 5, and then hit 5 in a row. But now, just 13 of their last 14.
I know Reese, they're very good. They're a very good three-point shooting team. But when it's not going, you got to find other ways. You know, you always say good teams find ways to win. You got to find a better way to score right now than just putting up deep threes.
1 out of 2 from Cook. So to start on this end of the floor, he's got 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they're by no stretch are they out of the game, especially in this building. But you want to use this last 4 minutes and go in the locker room.
You want to cut that lead.
Right?
I mean, whatever the number you want, down 14 right now, you want to get it 10, 9. But you got to get it down. You got to get some momentum on your side, and you've played awful. That's why
cutter along the baseline.
That's why you see a lot of turnovers with Maryland. Not that they're bad players, but they take very risky plays because they have great belief in themselves.
Just out of the reach of Jackson, but Maryland still up by 14. But seeing some of the displays and hearing people that were involved gave it a new depth, new different meaning, and it was They spent about 3 hours in the museum, something really cool thing that Mark Turgeon and his team were able to do earlier this week.
Well, it's an amazing when people hear things. It's unbelievable when they see things, and that's what happened. We went to the Holocaust Museum with my team over in Israel and a trip over there, and then in D.C. It's an amazing experience.
Both teams have cooled off a little bit now, and it's one of the things, Jim, that I think, as you get so fixated this time of year, and understandably so, on the game, on the floor, the opportunities that are presented to players to do things away from the court that's not only a team bonding experience, but broadens their horizons. And
it could be small things. I remember my first recruiting trip, they took me out to like a Howard Johnson's, and I thought it was a big deal. Howard Johnson's restaurant. And my point being is that kids go out to eat in nice places. They learn how to order meals. They learn something else besides fast food. They learn a lot of things about culture. I remember our kids went to Jelly Bean's last show. They went to Chicago. They went, and it's a great experience. And I think clearly, very definitively, I think we owe our kids the opportunity to see the world. A world a lot of them had never seen, including me when I was young.
Isaiah Moss hits those 2 free throws. The last foul was called on Nickens. It sent him to the bench with 2 here in the first half. And I was just down a dozen, despite the fact that they haven't played very well. Brantley beats Trapp. Now you got 3 quick guys before we can create, and then there's a turnover. Peter Jock into the open floor, and he lays it in.
He lost his stride, by the way. Thank God he didn't get hurt. Yeah. But you can't win without attacking. It makes sense.
Yeah.
You've got to attack. Watch this. I can see, and you probably can see by the body language, they had a little bit of feel here. Let's bring it up. Let's take a chance. Let them go back to it. We got protection there. And by the way, a lot of that comes, it hasn't come for most of this game with Iowa, belief in the guys behind you. I'll go for a steal if I know my butt's covered down the other end.
Well, Iowa leads the Big Ten in points off and turnovers, but it was the Hawkeyes themselves turning the ball over, particularly in the early going.
Iowa's a little stuck by trying to play quicker and smaller, and they lose the 2 big guys, which is one of the strengths of their team.
Maryland's outscored Iowa in points off turnovers 11-7 here in the first half, but now in just about a minute you talk about getting it down to that 10 range. You keep it here as they're dealing with some backcourt pressure.
I actually
go into the locker room and say we can't possibly play worse, and we're still in this thing. Bender gets another bucket inside, and that's going to be a problem throughout the night for Iowa.
Well set up. As soon as he caught the ball in the high post, they slipped the low post man in from the short corner, bang, and they get an easy hoop, but well set up. Sometimes they say, that just happened. That just didn't happen.
That just happened as Jock knocks down the 3.
That kid's going to be a pretty good player.
He's into double figures now.
He's good.
He's hit a couple of 3s tonight. The crowd's starting to awaken. Trimble from the elbow.
That one, he didn't release his whole hand through. Look how he second-guessed a little bit.
Moss thought about it. Bohannon won't think long. He'll just pull the trigger. Doesn't know. Brantley's ahead of the field, but the pass a little too long to be able to score, and then he has it knocked away by Moss, and here come the Hawkeyes.
Making the home run plays. That wasn't 4 steps, but that wasn't Kansas, but it was 3, and a hell of a play.
Iowa's cut the lead to 7. We're inside 2 minutes to go, and now the fans of Carver Hawkeye on their feet.
All by attacking on defense. Aggression.
Trimble, Jackson.
I'll tell you what, they have a great concept. Coach has done a great job at Maryland making sure that they know where that low post is. As the scouting report says, Maryland is going inside every time they can.
Patience displayed on that last trip by Trimble, too, to quiet the
Exactly
crowd.
right. Exactly right.
Gaffrey wanted a foul call. Jock penetrating all the way to the bucket. It's a block. Jock will shoot a couple.
And that's a part of his game. Last year I saw him. He shot well, and he was a little more overpowered by some of his teammates. But Reese, he can really put that down for a kid 6'8", 6'9". I mean, he can get to the rim.
Mello got there late as Trimble. First foul. Jock, an excellent free throw shooter, nearly 91% on the season. Second to Bryant McIntosh from Northwestern in the Big Ten. NBA Friday doubleheader starts with a terrific matchup. Two of the top teams in the West, KD and the Warriors, squaring off against James Harden and the Rockets. Harden, second in the league in scoring, first in assists, and finding time to pull down a little more than 8 rebounds per game. And we'll follow it up with the Pacers and the Lakers. It'll be a countdown charged by Mountain Dew. Start things off at 7 Eastern. Everything streams live. Watch ESPN and the ESPN app, just as our game is in the final minute of the first half.
When they put Bear back in the game, they get more quickness at the 4 spot. And he's not a typical 4, but he's long and he'll go after any loose ball.
Zone has a
1-3-1. They got to squeeze him out. He did.
And thank you very much, Dodzilla,
Well,
as they call it.
Exactly. Middleman on the zone, ball below foul line, you're low post. He never moved.
DeMonte Dodd with 8 first half points, feasting inside. 9-point lead, about a second difference in the shot clock and game clock. Jock thought about the step back, well defended by Jackson. Bohannon with the shot block. Now Trimble's got enough time. 6 seconds. Mello into the front court. And he tripped and couldn't quite get it to Cowan, and Maryland misses an opportunity. 2.1 to go.
It does shows a little justice in basketball, whether you hear it or not, but that's what they're thinking anyways. Well, that's what I would be thinking.
After all of those turnovers in the early part of the game, Maryland has more in the first half than Iowa does, 9-8. The long shot won't go down, and all things considered, things could have been worse for the Hawkeyes.
They escaped.
Maryland, 14 assists, Jim, in the first half on 16 made field goals, carrying the ball beautifully, but not able to pull away from the Hawkeyes. Our halftime score for David Jim Calhoun with you. The Terrapins, Jim, shot 57% in the first half. They're very efficient on offense.
Well, they really are. And Summer, quite honestly, is good at offense. It wasn't such great defense. You know, they get into the situation trying to play the pick and roll. Here's a good example. Ball should be driven to the pick and roll. 2 men on the balls, stop penetration. Let's see what happens. And I need rotation. I need you in the lane. You never got there. That's how you're going to get beat. And early in the game, that was wide open. Here's another time thrown into the high post. When this big man gets the ball, attack him, he'll probably turn it over. Instead, they allow him to get deep, makes a good post pass, and they're in trouble. They've got to stop that, keep the ball out of the middle.
Well, tonight's Right Combination is brought to you by State Farm. You see, you call them 2-point guards. Mello Trimble, the veteran, Anthony Cowan, the freshman. They have 5 assists between them. As a team, Maryland's got 14 assists on 16 buckets. This has been a terrific combination.
They're a terrific combination. The only thing I say as we start this, and it should be, first 5 or 10 minutes, 5 minutes going to be interesting. They're shooting 57% to 29, and only leading by 9. I mean, great shooting and poor shooting by Iowa. Iowa has rebounded, though. 7 offensives to 2 offenses for Maryland. Right idea, bad pass.
Yeah, turnovers late in the half allowed Iowa to get back in, and Peter Jock had 7 points in transition and almost on cue. Remember the Right Combination. Cowan goes right to the bucket, and the lead's back to 11. He's got 8.
Well, it was just bad defense. I mean, he had a live dribble, and you gave him a step back. Then he's too quick. If he has a giant step back, you're in trouble.
Pemsel has his shot blocked, but a foul's called.
Watch Cowan here, just a hesitation, that pause. Pause. I'm not going anyplace. See ya. Once he turns that corner, there's your layup. I mean, you've got to keep your feet active, and you got to drive him out. Please don't let him turn to the rim. Once his shoulders got by him, it was all over.
Cordell Pemsel rolls in the free throw. He was fouled by DeMonte Dodd. That was the second tonight on Dodd.
Well, I like what Fran's doing. They're trying to come out the second half. You know where the ball's going, fellas? Enough jump shots to try to get the ball inside. And they can, and they actually should. Where I think Marks, he's liked some of the things that have happened. He probably doesn't like the fact that he's only looking at a 10-point lead shooting as well as he is.
Again, well, he can't stay in front of Cowan. That much
Well,
is
he
happening.
can't, but he needs help. You got to give the pass.
That's deep position by Pemsel. You got his shot blocked by Jackson from behind.
I didn't like the finish. I like the post up. Use your body. Don't let him come to you. See you.
Mello. Oh, the look to Dodd for another dunk. Dodd's in double figures with 10.
this is like the start of the game.
Yeah.
Exactly like
Good.
it.
Great point. Maryland jumped out to an 8-0 lead. Iowa got back in it. Now Cook goes strong. He can't get it to fall.
Tell you what, that was a terrific rebound.
And foul was called by Gene Steratore on the baseline.
I mean, Iowa's defense has disappeared. They've seceded the paint. Look at this. Look at the goalpost. They're going to go right through it. That's going to be a field goal. Right? You know, there's nobody there. They've got to play much better. They've got to jam and make them a three-point shooting team.
That last foul Jim's called on Dodd. He's picked up 2 quick ones here in the second half, 3 now for the night. And Bender is wiping off the sneaks and getting ready to give Dodd a break.
By the way, in the first half, Bender was really good.
Yeah.
He had 6 points, 4 rebounds, and really was a space eater in there.
Bender's brother Dragan plays for the Suns, a 4th overall pick in the draft, in the most recent draft. He hurt a wrist in the preseason, but Turgeon was talking about what a smart defender he is. How he helps their overall team defense. Did a little bit of everything in the first half. Iowa shows a little pressure and then drops back zone, and as Maryland has all
By the
night,
way,
they've gotten the ball right at the free throw line off of that.
But you see what happened that time when the ball got there?
Yeah, they collapsed on him.
They
that time.
collapsed
Three
and
guys
faced
around
up.
it.
Almost all big guys, when they get in front of the ball, have a tough time because they're not used to putting the ball on the deck. And so when you go up and jam them, face jam them, they have a tough time making good passes. That was a very good defense.
Herder, who
it's like
set out, he set out a good portion of the first half with a couple of fouls. He's
a little ginger.
he's stepping a little gingerly at the moment.
The press right now, as long as they close it down quick, they're going to have to close the middle down. As I said, if Maryland's going to beat us, I'd be saying, have them beat us with jump shots. You can't let them keep beating us to the rim. I kind of like the defense. You know what? And that to me is I've been thinking about that call all the games I watch, and I watch a zillion, and then see, if I move there and you jump into me, I'm just not sure what that is. I know what the officials thought it was. And that's the important thing.
Have to establish the legal guarding position off the inbounds. Jackson went strong. He was fouled. Crowd didn't like it much. Neither did Fran, for that matter. Pemsel going to be called for the foul. Let's see. It'll be a second. He got it.
He did get him.
That's a foul.
What you didn't see, Bender cleared out all inside, and that was a sweep, 44 left. Jet sweep I'm talking about.
He's a big fella. He ought to.
When I said he's a space eater, it wasn't anything personal.
Hey, we got some more college hoops on Saturday. Terrific doubleheader. South Carolina and Kentucky. Frank Martin's team playing terrific defense. You know what Malik Monk and the Wildcats can do. That'll be followed by Miami and Duke Saturday primetime, 8:15 Eastern. College game day will be at Cameron Indoor, 11 a.m. Eastern on Saturday morning in advance of the Miami-Duke game. Pemsel strong against Bender. Bender had the rebound knocked away from him,
but there's just that little bit of quickness, particularly from the outside. They're picking up those loose balls. You agree with that?
Yeah, no
They
question.
seem to be, they're a quicker team.
Cowan's surrounded, and jump ball is going to be called and tie up as he lost his balance. Arrow pointing in Maryland's direction. Turgeon dealing with this young team. I think even Mark might be pleasantly surprised by how good they've been and how quickly they've been. He said this year, when they get a win with this young team, he just celebrates it. There were such great expectations on the Maryland team last year.
I mean, some people had them number one in the country, and they had a terrific year. What I think happens, though, is that once you win, the surprise and happiness is over, because now you want to keep it. He knows he has a good enough team to be very, very good. I really like them. And I have to be honest, and I love Fran, I love Iowa's, the way they play. Tonight, they're making it a little bit easier for them. The good thing, everybody, except for Maryland, there's still 17 minutes to go.
Right. Only a 12-point lead. Iowa has the ball. Crowd for a moment trying to get him back in, and this is the guy who can get things started. But Jock misses. Here comes Cowan the other way. Jackson might have gotten a little cute with that one. Turnover, Iowa on the run. Moss has a look. Offensive rebound for Cook. He tried to dunk it and he got fouled, but that's the type of aggression.
I love the action. I love the quick shot. I love running up the floor and I love attacking the rim. This is a terrific rebound. And then, by the way, try to throw it down. You know you're going to get at least 2. That's what the kind of attitude they need. If they're not as quick, they got to be hungrier. They got to be more feisty. They got to, you talked about swag. Develop a little swag. Is he taking him out of the game?
I think he's
bleeding. Maybe
he took a spill earlier, and he's ripped a hole in those long pants or those culottes or whatever they're wearing. A little blood shining through, so they're gonna have to tape up Kevin.
I've had a knee pad. I've had a few things. Culottes I haven't worn on the basketball court. And by the way, you wouldn't want to see it. Well, I think you might want Jim Calhoun in his culottes from now.
You got the legs for it.
Well, you haven't seen my legs, and nor would you want to.
Nor do I want to. That's
exactly.
True.
The good thing is not what I want to. Said quickly by Reese Davis. A very intelligent man, obviously.
Cook going to the free throw line. He's only been about a 61% shooter on the year, but he's hit 3 out of 4 tonight. Only points he hasn't made a field goal yet.
Well, they got the 2 bigs in there. I mean, Iowa's got the 2 bigs, Cook and Pence. I mean, they're good players, but they've got to get more out of it. That's why they went small before. They got hurt by that. Nice stroke, huh?
Yeah.
That's a really nice stroke. What is he shooting from the line?
61. He'll be better.
He looks a lot better.
Well, I think he's 4 out of 5 tonight, so that number's going to go up. He was 61 coming in. He was high school teammates with Jason Tatum from Duke in St. Louis.
That's
that team was a handful.
I imagine they won a few games.
Makes them both.
The pressure's helped a little bit. I was a little worried by the fact, can Maryland go by it? But they've retreated enough to make sure it's only throwing the pass horizontally, not up the floor.
If Maryland can get it inside, they've outscored the Hawkeyes 28-8 in the paint.
Crazy.
There it is inside. Jackson spinning too far underneath. That's really good defense by Cordell Pemsel. Tied him up, and it'll be. It's back on this end because we had a couple of tie-ups, and this one going back to the turf.
We've had now 3 tie-ups in the last minute, it seems.
That was excellent defense by big freshman from Dubuque, Iowa.
And they're going to have to keep doing that.
Right down the boulevard, lost the handle. Jackson had it. Jackson puts it on the rim, won't go. And now Jock on the rebound, and Turgeon is furious, and Steratore is looking at him. That was called on Cowan. Cowan picks up his second.
I guess a guy who does his, on Sundays, does the NFL, he's probably heard most everything.
Yeah.
So he's probably got a little bit longer fuse, but not that much longer.
Maybe a little tired, too.
Yeah, exactly. It's a long season, Coach. And some of those defensive linemen.
Well, on basketball season, too, you guys on the sideline wear out those refs pretty
good. Trying to help. We're trying to help. That's what I used to tell him. Nice pass. Finish.
Pemsel. And he does.
I'm saying finish. Take your time. He did it wonderfully.
Lead is down to 8. Here comes the crowd again.
Zone has helped. Zone has helped.
Trimble, Jackson. You know what? Same thing happened in the first half, Jim. Crowd got up. Iowa making a run. Who was it? Melo Trimble, very patiently getting him a good shot.
When we talk about leadership, it's always looked at in different ways. But leader is knowing when you need to hoop. On the road, terrific pass, good leadership. Melo Trimble's all the things we think he is.
Trimble just got his 4th assist. Cordell Pemsel, patient, strong. Hawkeyes. Sometimes we always look at the overachieving coaches. Say Jay Wright, Coach of the Year candidate for what he's been able to do following the championship season.
Well, we were really fortunate enough to win some national championships, and the year after we had good years, but not great years, because a lot of the things that made us get there sometimes, the kids thought that they were already there early in the season. Instead, we were playing an exhibition game, and it's really hard. I think he's done just a great job. He's a terrific coach. And I mentioned Scott Drew because they have very good players, but he's put them together. He's put them together in a format they can win. I mean, they're a team that wants to get up and down. They're not a patient team. They're a very athletic team, and they're good. I mean, they're good. So I think there's plenty of guys. I mean, watching Bobby Huggins win so many more games, and he loses a guy, and yet they still look the same because they still all play the same. But it's it's still a long way to go in the season. But those two guys, I thought right off the bat, have done a terrific job.
Cook with the offensive rebound. He goes up strong. Gill stayed straight up. What the officials are saying, so Maryland gets it back. By the way, that 3-ball that Trimble just hit, and he kicks it in the corner for Brantley. He'll take another one. Trimble hit 3 threes tonight. He came in having, I think, just 7 of 25 in Big Ten play, and coming off a 2 of 11 game against Illinois. That's a good look inside for the clutch.
And Junkyard Dog Bear, who I say affectionately, does something good again.
Bear is a guy who, for his first 2 years here at Iowa City, was a walk-on, but he's been a valuable commodity. And there's L.G. Gill. And Gill, holding his knee a little bit.
Yeah, look at
Cook is called for the foul, his second.
It looked more like a bang, which is better for anytime I see a kid go down. I mean, the last thing all coaches and feel, nobody wants to see anybody hurt. Looks to me like it's going to be the bang knee.
Yeah, there you go.
Contusion kind of thing as opposed. I'm not making my diagnosis right now, by the way, but I don't do that. Nor should I. But
I think you just did.
I think I did too, and I got his mom and dad calling me that effect. What'd you say? I saw 2 kids bang their knees. Have a little bruise tomorrow. No, but I mean, some of these kids when they get down here, you had breaks for them, and they work all this time. And all of a sudden they're out for 6 months. Tough thing.
I was looking earlier just before we came on to see about OG Anunoby from Indiana, who's hurt last night. I have our people look into it. I haven't seen an update on him. Certainly wish him the best.
Now there is an athlete.
Yes.
And he's getting better every minute.
We had a couple of thrillers in the Big Ten last night.
The Ohio State game was crazy.
Ohio State,
Nebraska, terrific game. I'll tell you what, there's a ton of good basketball. And we were before talking about freshmen. I'll tell you one thing. The Big Ten has literally 15 freshmen who I know the name of fairly well. They're that good. The league is healthy.
Bear did everything right on that last one except get the ball to fall. Here's Trimble again. Mello missed a couple after making
They've got
last
to
one. Bohannon, and Trimble steps into the passing lane, and Kriener called for the foul. That's his third.
And by the way, that was a pass that you make in high school.
Here are the Big Ten standings. Maryland and Wisconsin off the 4-1 starts. Rutgers really the only team that's not competitive. Between 1st and 13th, only 2.5 games separating.
And you think about NCAA tournament, I just looking at it quickly, 7 to 9 teams that could go to the tournament. That's a lot.
I don't know if you look at any of the teams in the Big Ten right now and say that you see bona fide Final Four
National
contender.
champion, exactly, yeah.
But you see a lot of teams that are certainly capable of knocking off a national championship contender and wreaking a little havoc in the bracket. And Kriener.
Well, you wouldn't want to play Purdue with Haas.
No.
And
Caleb Swanigan.
And Swanigan. You don't want to go and have you go to the root canal with Wisconsin. I mean, you don't want certain things to happen to you. Maryland's a very good team. Indiana, you get into a foot race with Indiana, I got some advice. You're going to lose. I mean, yeah, terrific. And there's some other young teams, still have a month to get much better.
L.G. Gill in the corner to get it to go. Bohannon wanted to push it ahead, but wisely
Nice pass.
patient and gets a good pass. And Wagner and one. Ahmad Wagner.
It's nice to see Reese Davis now really excited. Yeah. I think you're excited for the score, but I think you're excited by the move. Well, no, you like seeing good basketball. We both do.
That was a terrific pass and a great finish from Wagner. Look at that bounce pass.
Wonderful, and you're right. Uses his body, good finish.
So Wagner can close this lead down to 6.
This may be the closest we've had in quite some time.
Closer in a long time. Maybe since the opening moments of the game. Here they come, pressure in the back court. A lead that was as big as 15 in the first half has been sliced to 6. Momentum on the Hawkeyes side. 7-0 run, powering the men in gold who are sitting in that zone. Another turnover almost, and I think, yeah, it's going to be Iowa basketball. Brantley begs to differ. I thought that Kriener perhaps touched it when it was out of bounds. We'll have a look at it and see.
Let's put our striped shirts on right now.
Let's see, that's the last touch by Merrill.
Yeah, maybe yes. I guess so, maybe yes.
I think that's Maryland's ball. It should have been Maryland's ball, but it was a tough call to see exactly when he made contact. Bear.
You can't make high school passes.
Kriener.
You know, at this level, that pass that looks good, it looks good for the defense to pick off too. They can see it coming. Yeah. Be interested to see. Yep, the right guys are touching it.
Nickens is back in for Maryland. He can be a dangerous shooter. Brantley also out there with Cowan as Trimble's taking a break. Another near turnovers. Iowa's much more active with their hands than they were in the first half. And there is a turnover. Iowa has numbers. Bohannon loses the handle and he'll have to back it back out. Ellingson from the corner.
Get a camera here. The building's alive, Reese. The building's alive.
The Hawkeyes 10-2 at home.
By the way, digging that ball out of the corner, there.
They're making the hustle plays, active with their hands, lethargic start, but now the joint is jumping. Ellingson from the corner. The Hawkeyes have scrapped back to within 3. Fashion way with Ahmad Wagner and then Brady Ellingson from the corner, Jim.
Well, the whole thing was led by defense. They started getting very active hands, active feet, getting Maryland a little bit out of comfort. From 11 down to 3 down, real good run. They did it though with activity and defense and trying to take the middle away.
Maryland's turned it over. Jim on 3 of their last 4 possessions. Melo Trimble back in, so too is Monte Dodd. Cowan for 3.
And well defended.
And he gave the little shoosh.
I saw that
sign after knocking it down. He's got 13, hit all 5 of his field goal attempts. Terrific night for the freshman so far. Ellingson and Wagner almost had another finish and another chance for a 3-point play, but he'll go to the line and shoot a couple.
You know, the one thing both teams get, they get guys coming off the bench that give them sparks. And it might be a guy only playing 8 minutes a game. It's a real good play by having him get the ball, go to the rim, get the cutting man down the lane.
Eastern time, couple of ranked teams from the SEC, neither with a conference loss. That'll be followed by Miami and Duke, both 2 and 3 in the ACC, but you got to figure there's a long way to go in that conference, as many powerhouses as there are. Duke tries to figure out some of its problems. Miami got whacked by Wake Forest last night as Wagner, shooting less than 50% from the free throw line on the year, makes 50% of his opportunities, and the lead is 5.
Kind of amazing about the fact that Peter Jock has not had as big a hand in his comeback.
Well, he hasn't had any. He's 0 for 3 in the second half.
Exactly.
He's not on the floor at the moment. Trimble driving, and Brantley stepped out of bounds. Cowan stepped out of bounds.
One of my favorite people in the world, George Blaney, former coach at Holy Cross, Seton Hall, wonderful man, my assistant for many years. He always said, you know, I played a lot of basketball. I always knew where the lines were. Those kids today step out more than anything else. I always knew where the lines were. He was right.
Bohannon gets the help of a screen from Kriener. There's Wagner.
Yeah, he just got his feet goofed up.
Yeah.
Got time. Nice cut. Bear
has it taken away by Trimble, but saved back to Bear, who fired up the air ball. Ellingson, no, and the tip in.
They're starting to bang the boards.
Kriener again. This kid made big shots in the win against Purdue. Here where Iowa's won 5 of its last 6 at home against ranked opponents and trying to do it again to Maryland.
12-3 on the offensive glass for Iowa.
Maryland has been able to answer.
Every single time, let them get some close. Good screen.
Jackson with that, another bucket in the paint for the Terps. Wagner driving on Dodd, trying to get that fourth foul on him. There's Kriener with another tip. This time it wouldn't go. And Trimble's on the run, and let's see what happened here. And the foul is going to be called on Cowan.
You know what? That looked like an accusation, not a foul.
Yeah.
He went over and said, "You did it." I don't think that Mark truly agrees. Do we have that on tape? Because I don't know how it happened.
It looked like they got tangled up. By the way, it'll be shooting a 1-and-1. Let's keep an eye out here. Let's see what Cowan does. Oh, see, he grabs his arm and then
Tries to flip him a little
gives
bit.
him a little hip toss.
So you're saying that wasn't a basketball play?
Not saying
Which one, the flip part or grabbing his arm?
both.
Yeah.
All of the above.
But you know what? Over the years, all the different guys playing basketball, think of all the things we try to do to each other.
Yeah. And if you're a little bit undersized too, you might take some liberties in the congestion in the paint.
Yeah, I never worry about the size issue. I just thought about taking some liberties if I could. But his play is good.
We're ruling that Maryland had the basketball prior to that foul, so it's an offensive team control foul.
Yep,
so
just
we
did
will
all.
not shoot it.
Okay. All right. G's Territor coming over while it is a 1-and-1, saying that the rule that Maryland had the basketball and offensive team control foul and therefore no free throws. So Iowa will have the ball, fresh 30 seconds on the shot clock. Bears spinning hook over Herder.
I love it. My guy, I love him. I said this every game. This is the third game I've had Iowa. And I love the way he plays.
All night long, Maryland has had an answer when this crowd has been able to rise up. 3-point game.
I give fans so much credit because he has, as I said, been searching for the right combination, the right defense. He's got some energy right now.
Brantley back in the game. He drives along the baseline, and the Terps do it again.
And that's why he's a great six-man. Comes off, gives you a burst.
Bohannon uses the ball screen, switch off with Jackson.
Nice
Good
pass.
punt. End of the bucket. And one. It's Bear again.
I tell you what, they're moving without the ball. You know, in the first half, they had lead feet. Never really moved. But watch this. Nice basketball cut. Ball fake. Waits. Hits him. 3-point play.
And foul number 4 on DeMonte Dodd.
And he's been important. Although I give Bender credit, I think he's been a major factor.
Bender returns as Dodd goes to the bench with 8:15 to go and 4 fouls, and Iowa can get it to 2. They do not. Opportunity for an offensive rebound. Wagner is tied up, and the ball's going to stay on this end with the Hawkeyes.
But this is the thing that's changed in the Iowa setup. Hustle, hands, legs, invest in every play.
Look at the number of offensive rebounds.
Unbelievable.
Hawkeyes haven't been that great on the defensive board statistically this year, but boy, tonight they have done work on the offensive glass, and primarily here in the second half, and it's gotten them right in the thick of this game, this Big Ten battle in Iowa City.
And you know a lot of it, just hustle. Those aren't like guys squaring above the box and snatching it. They're just going down and fighting for it. And we got ourselves a ball game.
Turnover, Jock with the steal on the ill-advised bounce pass from Trimble.
But don't we keep saying,
Cutting Kriener hits the bottom of the rim.
you know where his head was down? He never saw where he was.
Kind of didn't have a pass to the rim and tried to go under him, but he was too far underneath. And here's Jackson driving. Ball kicks off of his knee. Let's see if it'll stay on this end. Last touch by Iowa. The under 8 media timeout, and Mark Turgeon had a big lead once. Now he finds himself in a dogfight. Best offensive night from the Big Ten's leading scorer, Peter Jock, who has 12 points, but he's only 3 of 11 from the floor. There is Peter as he heads back out.
And we still got plenty of time to go.
Oh, yeah. That's what seniors do. They come and finish these games, right?
Right now, I mean, you got 33 minutes that Maryland's led.
Maryland jumped to an 8-0 lead, controlled the first half.
Still staying there 2-3.
Looked as if they were going to continue to do so in the second, but Iowa's been digging in, getting deflections like that one. Shot clock's at 8. Maryland will have it on the side.
By the way, I do want to take back, I don't see anybody's ankle has been bitten or anything, but
Figurative.
Figurative speaking. Yeah.
There goes Mello over Bear. Bear might have gotten a piece of that. Went out of bounds. There's only 2 left on the shot clock.
If you keep on hustling, good things happen. 3 deflections, ball out of bounds, then they're going to have a tough shot.
And McCaffrey telling his guys to look for the lob. Bender was there
Oh,
for
that
it.
breaks your
And
heart.
Jackson.
That breaks your heart.
Jackson's into double figures. He's had a couple of big buckets in the last few minutes of this game.
And you can tell not only with his talent level, how good he's going to be because he has great composure.
Bohannon.
No one could accuse Bohannon of being afraid to shoot.
Wagner for the second time in the second half will have a chance for a 3-point play.
Stay on the boards, stay on the boards. Active feet lead for good activity. And it's really true. If you make the defense move, you make your offense move. You know, I used to tell our kids, when we move the ball on offense, we move our feet on defense. On offense, we then have offensive feet to rebound. And that's one of the things they're doing.
Wagner completes the 3-point play. He's more than doubled his scoring average. He's got 9. Those offensive rebounds have been the story for the Hawkeyes. 2-point game. Inside 7 minutes to go here in Iowa City. Just another routine night in the Big Ten, isn't it?
It isn't. It seems like every game I see is this way. Overpass maybe a little bit.
Another turnover.
Yeah, maybe overpass. I said they see some of the passes that work, but they look at being pretty.
Jock. Oh, great look to Pencil, and Iowa's all the way back. Tied for the first time since it was scoreless.
I don't know where else, but I'm excited. That's a heck of a play. My palms are starting to sweat. I love that.
Zone vexing the Terps.
I was going to tell you who's going to shoot.
Brantley. Just like that, right over
Brantley,
the top.
Cohen, they all shoot the same reason in the sense if you give them jump shots, they're going to take them.
Trimble did a good job not picking up the fouls. Bohannon was trying to get past him. Bohannon has it taken away by Jackson. Now here come the Terps, and they turn it right back over if Bear can corral it, and he does. Bohannon's going to back up, think about it, eye it, buries it.
He does not get dissuaded by a mid-shot. Next, right?
And I love that about it.
Oh, I do too. Young kid, he's a good player.
That's his 3rd 3 of the night. All of his points coming from beyond the arc, and we're tied at 66.
And if Maryland's asking why this happened, they're getting outworked it out a little bit. They haven't gotten any less as a team, but they're getting outworked a little bit.
Brantley. Nope. Hawkeyes have a chance to take the lead for the first time tonight. Wagner!
But I love the aggression to the rim.
Well, Wagner has been the guy coming off the bench who's given McCaffrey's team a big lift. That was a terrific look from Jock to Pencil. And Bohannon, somebody's got to find him in transition, but it's too late.
That was not pretty, but boy, it was good. He tacked the rim, and the way things are today, you can tack the rim, you're going to draw a foul.
Wagner rattles in the first one to give Iowa its first lead of the night with 5:18 to play.
That's the whole night, right? That's the whole night, Coach. That's a long time ago.
Yep.
Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it.
Another offensive rebound. Bear just out hustling everybody. Jock inside, blocked by Dodd, and Maryland will have it. Now Mello trying to push it up and maybe beat the Iowa defense back. They haven't done it. Talon's back in the game. He drives baseline, and he's rejected.
I tell you, we'll get some basketball being played.
Jackson out to contest Bohannon this time. Wagner's been feeling it. Let's see if he drives on the smaller man. Talon flops, no call. Pencil underneath. Won't go. Offensive rebound. Wagner again.
I mean, where's this been 10 minutes ago? Once again, not important. It's here now. It's here now.
Maryland gets it into the front court and calls a timeout. Not willing to wait for the 4-minute media timeout.
Kid to show the rest of the team, hey fellas, if you work hard, good things do happen.
There's been a great competition for playing time among the front court guys at Iowa, and doing things like this, getting 5 offensive rebounds. Iowa's out-rebounded Maryland on the offensive boards 19-4, and 12 of those second opportunities on offense have come in the second half, and 13 of their 19 second chance points have come after halftime. Nickens right off the bench and right in the bottom of the bucket.
Yeah, and he came to shoot, and that's what he's put in for. Nice pass.
For the second time, Jock finds Pimsel. That's going to be goaltending on Dodd.
But all those things now, Reese, are starting to open up. You know, when other guys make plays, everybody starts playing more honest. Well, play more honest, you leave up to open gaps.
Jock hasn't shot it well tonight, the Big Ten's leading scorer, but what he's done, he's passed it well a couple of times, and he's also gotten several deflections during this comeback.
And the other thing, he draws too.
Changing up the look of the zone again, trying
Exactly
to keep
right.
him off balance. A little 1-3-1. Cowan gets in the teeth of it, runs into big guys, and
He's calling it out on pass, I believe.
Yep,
That's the way they call. This is the political season. The politicians call. I didn't give him 2, but I did call a foul.
As Cook.
Yeah, thank you.
It's Cook's third and only the 15th team foul. That's why.
Well, tomorrow he goes before the commercials committee and it's being vetted, so it's one of those kind of things.
That's why Turgeon reacted as he did.
Well,
he
he's
to
trying
get
to.
the line. Oh,
He's playing the role of the lobbyist, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting a real political thing. And we're trying to figure, it's off on a pass, right? So
Yeah.
it's not a 1-on-1.
on the pass, fresh 30, inside 4 minutes to go. Herder putting it in play. Terrapin's down by 2. Dodd wanted it. Herder couldn't get it to him, so they'll throw it out front and reset, and here's Mello.
No, Herder has not been hurt of much tonight.
Hasn't had much, and offensive foul on the screen. If it's on Dodd, it's going to be it. Monte Dodd fouls out with 10 points. He stuck that leg out and got Bohannon with it.
He did, those close.
You would have preferred to let that one go?
You know, I'm having more. I love screening. I think it helps the game.
Nobody's saying screening doesn't help the game. Would you like to have seen him let the foul go? Was that a foul?
If Fran, no, Mark, hell yes.
Speaking of politicians,
Exactly. No, just telling you the honest truth. My team's never committed a foul.
that was Maryland's 20th turnover. Their season high is 21. Jock working on a couple of Terrapins, finds Cook. Cook, strong, drew contact, and he'll go to the line.
I thought the official was judging. Did he get contact and did it go in?
Yeah.
You know, that was one of those close ones. By the way, this is a good crew. This is not an easy game to work.
No. Sarator walked by a little while ago and said, good game. That foul was called on Bender. It's his second.
Yeah,
Here's
it's better
Cook.
than having a 380-pound lineman run at you with pads on.
Gene Sarator, one of our officials tonight, is also an NFL official, worked playoff games. Seahawks and Falcons last week. Clemson and Louisville, that follows us. After that, stay tuned for SportsCenter at night. Butchie and Anderson, they'll have highlights, break everything down from college and pro sports. SportsCenter at night after the doubleheader. Clemson and Louisville coming up. All of it streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN.
You got to make foul shots here.
Cook hits 1 to 2. 3-point lead for the Hawkeyes as we wind down toward 3 minutes. Herder from deep. Rattles out, an offensive rebound, this time for Jackson. Knocked into the back court. Tremble able to beat Jock to the basketball. Herder, Tremble for 3. Tie.
Big time shot. In motion, straight his legs up. Got a balanced shot through his shoulders. Ball goes in.
And now there's going to be a foul called on this end. Pimsel will be called.
But watch this, Reese. Watch how he squares himself up. Going full speed. Yep. Going, remember he said, going towards the hoop. If you show all these kids all the tape, how many times going towards the hoop, they're going to increase their shooting by 20%.
Tremble had been getting good looks in recent games, hadn't necessarily been making them, but he has tonight. He's 4 out of 7 from behind the arc.
And one thing we both know, he's good.
Yes, he is.
He's very good.
Take care of the pressure. Herder, the Bender. Tremble's wanting it over in the corner. Nobody's found him yet. Now Cowan does. Mello for 3. Buckets.
And when you ask about a leader, we mentioned it 2 or 3 times, that's what a leader does.
Bohannon trying to answer. Does not. And Herder grabs the rebound, and Maryland has the ball and a 3-point lead.
By the way, I would like to see a little better shots. I just think you at least have got to consider that right now.
Mello directing traffic. Cowan got it in to Bender, and Jackson got the loose ball, and a foul's called underneath, and they're going to get Wagner for the foul.
You can see why this Iowa team, and you can't explain necessarily the Northwestern score, is at this point very tough to play. You could see why they could fight a Purdue. I'm not saying they're better than Purdue, I'm saying they can fight and beat the team. They're a very interesting basketball team.
Well, they've shown the heart and fight. You had to wonder in the early going, coming off of that dismal performance against Northwestern and then the slow start here, but they've answered the bell.
And they really have. And we know, we've said it enough times, Maryland's a terrific team. I mean, there's a reason Maryland's ranked. If they win this one, they're 17-2. Usually you'll get ranked. And you know, they're one of the best teams certainly in this league.
Jackson made it a 2-possession game. Now he'll try to stretch the lead. And he does, rattling in both of them. He's done a little bit of everything tonight, hasn't he?
He has, really.
Saw the numbers he's put up, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. 5 steals to go with it. He's a terrific-looking young player. Inside 2 minutes to go. 5-point lead. Cook with the left. Rolls off the rim. Cook with another offensive rebound. The fight for it, and Jackson comes away with it, and Maryland has it.
But you can't expose it. I mean, he's got to get a way to get that ball into his chest. Nathan Clement in.
Turgeon urging patience as Maryland goes for another road win in the Big Ten. Tremble from deep. This time a little bit short. Ball's knocked out of bounds. They're saying, it looks like they're saying last.
Well, the call was for Maryland, but
yeah, I thought he said last touch by Iowa. They're going to They're going to go over and have a look. Let's have a look at it.
I know less now.
Cook had his hand in there. It's just hard. Yeah, I think Cook was the last guy to touch
it. I do too, yeah.
I think Will, as the initial indication was it would be Maryland basketball, and I believe when our officiating crew finishes having a look over there that they'll come to that same conclusion.
If this goes on to be positive, the guy who made the big shots, Trimble, and made the big plays. Yeah. All it is advertised to be.
One more look as two of the officials, that's Scaratore and Lamont Simpson, overlooking at it while Larry Scarato's minding the basketball, and it will stay on this end with Maryland with a 5-point lead, 1:21 left on the game clock, and a fresh 30.
You know, if you don't realize it, but it's that one call out of bounds the other way. I'm not taking calls. I'm saying just that one fingertip could change games.
Yep.
A hoop here could make life really difficult for. They've got a little hill to climb anyways, 5 points, but a hoop here could really hurt them. Plus, you got 30 more seconds in the clock.
What do you expect to see Maryland do here?
Take time.
It looks as if Iowa, even at this point, right now they're looking at the clock to try to make sure the right time on the game clock. From the alignment, it doesn't appear, although maybe they are, if Iowa's going to match up here. See how they
it'd be interesting.
defend.
You can't just let them take a full 30 at this late date.
Yeah.
Let's see what they do.
Well, in the zone.
They're going to
come out of it?
Nope, I don't think so. I don't think they feel they can match
stay
up
in front of them?
against those two
Cowan
guys. I mean, they are really good. And you know, your strategy many times, is called for by who the player is.
Shot clock at 10 and inside a minute to go. And the zone work. Jock in the open floor off the turnover, the layup, and there's goaltending on Herder, and it'll be a 3-point game.
You want to know? You want to know? Do you want to know anything about Peter Jock? Game has been going well. How quick was he out to get that? Head was not down. Head was up, ready to play.
First points of the second half, too. Couldn't have come at a better time for Iowa and Maryland to call a timeout in the face of pressure. So as it has for much of the second half, whatever Iowa's done defensively, whether it be zone or the occasional foray into man, it's resulted oftentimes in Maryland turnovers and is keeping them hanging around.
Well, they're over 20 turnovers now.
Yep.
And my point being is, you can't turn the ball over 20. You know, in the Gates, when I tell you what Maryland's shooting, 55%. And they're in a three-point game because they've turned the ball over 20 times.
I think they're now at 21. It matches the season high, but this guy, when they've needed him most, Melo Trimble, has been there for the Terps tonight.
Oh, no question. He's terrific. And you know what? I just like the way he looks. And by that I mean, he probably brings a sense of confidence and calmness to the team in these big situations.
And you know, he's really been at ease with himself as you see this big three after making the decision last year not to enter the NBA draft, really assumed a leadership role, enjoying himself. He is a beloved figure by Maryland basketball fans. I mean,
I sat down with him Mark asked me last year, just talking to him about Kimber and some of the good players we had. And terrific kid. But, you know, I'm not even sure he knows, he's aware, obviously, how good he is. He's a pretty special kid.
he also worked on his body. He's more explosive this year. They got a little attention in an early preseason exhibition game when he dunked, which there have been questions about that. Now that has been taken care of. We know Melo can dunk. Right now he just wants to handle the ball and not turn it over, and Iowa had him down in the corner, and foul is called. It was called on Jock. McCaffrey didn't like it much.
That's a tough one. May have fouled him, but that's a tough one. Let's see. Hands up.
That's a very fortuitous turn of events.
Yeah, I mean, he put his arms into the kid's chest.
The guys in the dark jerseys.
That's what I'm saying.
And Trimble better than 82% on the year from the free throw line. Has yet to shoot one tonight. First one's good, and we have a two-possession game again. Trimble now up to 18. One above his season average. 2 for 2. Now Iowa's got to move quickly and efficiently.
Anything they can get.
Bender comes out and knocks it away from Jock, and Bender gets it into the front court, and now Iowa's got to think about fouling.
I will tell you, that's been called all night in the paint. So it's good, if it's legal in the paint, it's legal now.
Bohannon comes out to hack Trimble to send him back to the line.
Look at friend.
Friend McCaffrey yelling at the officials. It felt like the Jock was fouled out front by Bender. Bender's listening to Fran yell and shook his head. No, it's not. Had him. Bender from Bosnia and Herzegovina, but clearly he knows enough English to be able to say it wasn't a foul.
The good thing of being fortunate enough to travel with USA Basketball and other events worldwide, everybody knows the simple things. They know an elbow, they know a trip, they know a foul, they know a flop.
Melo, last one rattles out. He's got 20 tonight. Maryland leads 6. Little two-possession game. Bohannon gets the quick 2, and McCaffrey wants a timeout. He's still unhappy about the no call out front.
They had 2 tough calls down the stretch.
They did.
That was not a foul, and this one was, in my opinion.
Yeah, the one down in the corner Jim was talking about when Trimble had the ball and was in trouble and bailed out by a foul call, and then Jock lost the ball out front when Yvonne Bender jumped out and forced the turnover. But, hey, look, you might differ on whether it was a foul or not, but still good plays. particularly by Bender to go out there.
No question.
And here's the one where Tremble got bailed out. Brand's not as upset about this one.
But I don't know who touched him.
Now, well, they called the foul on Jock.
Let's see this one.
And then here's,
Well, that's the call I keep saying shouldn't be called.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a legit call, but they call it all the time.
yeah.
Now, if he was going down near the foul line, they would have called that.
Hey, I mean, you know what, Jim? On a second look, and the officials only have the first look, that looked like pretty good defense to me.
I'm not saying he wasn't in position, but the contact to quote prohibit the normal movement.
Yeah. Yeah. Going forward is Cal, and Kriener has to foul him. 21.7 to go.
I used to say something to my real quick point guards, speed kills. and it kills the other team is what it does. I mean, there was no chance of anybody staying with him. You agreed?
Yeah, no question. And also, against that pressure and against that defense, Maryland has 5 ball handlers on the floor.
Exactly.
Too.
And they have good ones.
Yes.
Not just ball handlers. Well, they only have 3 freshmen on the floor now. Handling the ball. But they got the guy.
Is there still time in your judgment if he makes this one to get the quick 2 as they did last time, or they need to start looking for the 3?
Anything you can get. It's not quite desperation time, but anything you can get.
See what Bohannon does.
Yeah, a lot of dribbling there.
And now we're getting late in another turnover, and that's probably going to do it. Brantley's ahead of the field, and he lays it in. And Maryland is going to come to Iowa City and get out with a victory. And McCaffrey's out at half court.
He's trying to get one.
Yeah, he's trying to get a technical before he leaves here tonight, but I don't believe he's going to be successful in that effort. And
let's see.
Fred is after Larry Scarrato right now afterwards and letting him have it at the end. Very displeased with the final moments and the call and no call that did not go in Iowa's favor. And Maryland ranked 25th in the nation. Came into the night tied for the lead in the Big Ten with Wisconsin, and they get another road victory, 84-76. That's our final. Terps get a road win from Jim Calhoun and our entire ESPN crew. I'm Reese Davis. Now we send it to the Yum Center, Clemson and Louisville. Jason Benetti and Dan Dockett.